So you know that I've never seen Rocky, right?
Yes.
How are you like? I mean, should I honestly care to ever see Rocky?
You know, it's a good independent film. Literally an independent film. And it's if you
but
think
I don't
about
like
it,
boxing.
I don't like boxing either.
Had he stopped there, he'd still be a Hollywood legend. It's almost like the first Planet of the Apes. Like that was a legitimately good science fiction movie with legitimate social commentary.
Yeah.
But then they just had to make that money.
And kept making them and making them. Yeah.
Once it was a hit, they're like, let's see how much we can get out of this.
Yeah, true. Like any Marvel movie ever made.
It's kind of amazing the Adrian's transformation throughout the movies. Because boy, was she fugly.
Who's Adrian?
No, Adrian.
Yeah, but I didn't know if he was talking about himself or...
It's what he named his penis.
Okay, see? It could have been his boxing gloves. It could have been his dad. He might have had daddy issues. I don't know.
Wow.
What?
Yo, Adrian,
That's
love me, daddy.
It was his favorite wrestler, Adrian Adonis.
Okay, it could have been his dog.
It was his mailman. It's the only person he ever saw out of his shitty little apartment.
Okay. See, I didn't even know he lived in a shitty little apartment.
Adrian the mailman.
Yeah, his only friend. It could have been like the cable guy. Could have been doing it for...
It's a prequel to the cable guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think Stallone named his penis?
He didn't because he can't see it.
I thought it was the Italian stallion, no? Throughout the film, we were given a big heaping teaspoon of that.
Oh, did he really call it that?
That's his boxer's name was Italian.
Oh, I thought you were going to say salami. My Italian salami.
That doesn't have the same ring to it.
Saloom.
He started his career making like single X.
Yeah,
movies.
I know. I know.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote this while he was doing porn.
Maybe he did have Italian stallion.
What are you laughing about?
That's what helped him write Rocky. Did
you say? Are you laughing at your own joke about single X? Was that? I thought he did triple X. I thought he showed his wang. He didn't show his wiener.
He may have. I just know the X ratings were different back then. So like,
I thought it's always been triple X.
I wasn't.
Go down.
I wasn't laughing at my joke.
Oh, okay.
I was laughing at the situation. That
all right.
Maybe that's what started Rocky. Maybe it was Italian Stallion.
Yeah,
hey, that's a good name for a boxer. And I just saw this guy almost beat Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
2 + 2, man.
I think we're having
equals
air
Rocky
problems again. I don't feel any breeze in here, so.
Hello, last video store on the left. Yep. Oh, yeah. Don't call back, kid, okay?
What's that about?
Apparently, Tom's dick is hairy.
Oh, wow.
Man, we're working blue today.
We sure are. It's all about the wang.
It's all about dicks.
It's all about your wiener.
Hey, buddy.
Speaking of wieners.
Whoa, who is a wiener?
We're all wieners.
Oh, you're a wiener. I'm a wiener. You're a wiener.
We're all a
wiener.
See?
Oppenheimer Wiener.
I heard about that movie. Apparently, it's got a big dick in it. It's got a big dick in it, and it gets real big and blows up.
That's what most of them do. I mean, if you're lucky.
You're lucky. It's been a long time since I was lucky. It was in Vietnam.
Oh, no, please don't tell any war stories.
Yeah, they used a syringe to try to cure what was inside of me after that.
Okay.
It was full of green stuff.
Okay, it's sort of depressing.
And I felt better afterwards.
That's good. Well, what's in the cup? Is that going to make me feel better afterwards?
Oh, yeah. My friend down the street. This is called Frankenstein cocktail.
Oh, Mayor.
Yeah. It's got 1.5 ounces vodka, and it's got 1 ounce of sour apple, some simple syrup, and or corn syrup, and Sprite to taste it.
It tastes like Frankenstein's penis.
You guys are being weird today.
I think it's the heat.
Just today?
I don't know. It's different from other days.
Oh.
I'm going to go in the back room and try to cleanse myself. Your potty mouth.
My potty mouth.
Your potty mouth.
Your potty mouth.
No.
I just
told
got
us.
in a screaming fight with the mayor.
Usually we have to like shoo him back to the back room.
He
but
ran.
Today, he was like, "Oh, I'm just going back there."
Fuck this mess. I'm out.
He's like, "Holy
Might be
moly."
cooler back there than it is.
That's probably why he went.
The tiles in the bathroom can get nice and cold.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Usually after puking. That's a quote from the mayor. It's a direct quote from the mayor.
Nice.
So we have anything else on Sylvester Stallone's penis?
No, I do
Not
not
that
want
I
to
can
even
think
waste
of. Okay.
another second
Okay,
with
I
that.
was just checking.
No, Johnny, no. I really am not in the mood to talk about that man's invisible.
I think it
Wang.
crooks to the left or the right. Oh, wait. Hello. Hi.
Wow, hi. Welcome to the last video store on the left.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, hey.
How y'all been?
Good.
All right.
Charleen, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Charleen, you remembered. That's so nice of you.
Yeah, we like to remember our regular customers. So welcome, Charleen.
It's
Tell
been a
us.
while.
I know. What are you in the mood for tonight?
Well, oh, goodness gracious. Well, I just spent a month up with my cousins in the Panhandle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know,
The armpit.
the armpit. Yep.
Well, I think it has a more colorful name.
Oh, well, can we say that?
I don't know if we're allowed to say it.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all just look
Well,
it up.
Charlene,
Can't
if
say
you
you
say
read
we're
it.
allowed to say it, then
Can
we're
you
allowed
not
to
say?
say it.
I don't know. I
I
would
think
think
that's the last thing you can say.
is redneck.
Yeah.
Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the Redneck Riviera. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like an interesting time.
Kinda.
So you need something.
I need something to take my mind off of musicals.
Okay.
Musicals.
Honey, we got the movie for you.
The opposite of a musical.
The opposite of a musical, please.
But
Anything.
it still has love and perseverance and the triumph of the human spirit.
And stars before they were stars.
Stars
Wow.
before they were stars.
Well, y'all always recommend something good for me.
All right. So then I guess we have agreed on this It says 1994, but it felt a lot more like 92. So I feel like it might have sat on the shelf a couple years.
Yeah.
I don't think so,
Really?
but we'll get into that.
Okay. So
Well, what am I renting?
well, on the box it says Tammy and the T-Rex, but on the crawl on the credits it says Tanny and the teenage T-Rex. Tanny.
Tanny with an N.
Tanny.
Ends. Talk about a redneck name.
Tanny. That is kind of a redneck name.
Tanny Lynn, you get in this house, Tanny Lynn.
I'm kind of surprised we didn't think of that ourselves.
I know for sure. I don't know anybody named Tanny Lynn, but I'm surprised.
I thought I had a stroke when I first watched the movie because I'm like, but the box says this.
I immediately had to look it
yeah.
up. I'm like,
Yeah.
this has to be a thing
Wait.
because
Tammy and the Tammy and the T-Rex, but it's really Tanny and the
teenage
teenage
T-Rex.
T-Rex. Why'd they have to go get so specific about the age?
I think that there was a mistake when they were making it.
It's like the original script. And they had to
Maybe.
change it. the
Maybe.
tape thing.
Maybe.
Right, the original title, well, I don't know why, was Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex, which is what you see on screen. But everything in the media is Tammy and the T-Rex.
And everyone
but,
calls her Tammy.
yeah, everyone calls in the movie her character's name in the script and on screen.
No, it isn't.
This
On screen, it
sounds
says
fascinating.
Tanny. In the credits, in the end
No, I
credits.
meant on the scripts.
Oh, yeah.
And when they call her name, they say Tammy.
Look,
So it's
sounds
very,
like
very
they've
weird.
got an identity crisis.
Yeah, they're already off on a bad start.
All right.
So
On a
let's-
bad
then
start.
you're trying to sell me on this.
Let's
Okay.
start with the gloriousness that is the director.
Oh, yes. This is from the writer-director of Mac and Me.
Mac and me.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Mannequin 2 on the move.
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
saw the first mannequin, didn't see the second
This
one.
is proof positive that in Hollywood you definitely fail upwards.
Yeah, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. He obviously knew the right people.
Because Mac and Me and Mannequin 2 were right after one another, and then this came years later. And holy
It's still
crap.
not any better. But it has a bunch of fledgling and established stars in it. So
does the T-Rex like a crazy puppet?
it is a robot.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like AI before AI.
Sort of.
It's like an AI before AI. So it's like a realistic puppet
Yeah.
robot. It's a realistic robot. It's not a puppet. It's a realistic robot. Animatronic.
Animatronic.
But I would consider it like AI, like weird shit back then, right? Because they were trying to, the scientist and his stereotypical sexy nurse.
Yeah.
Who should have been Mary Warnov, but she's like, no, I'm gonna let the new generation take over.
I'm gonna have to pass on this script.
And I feel like that character,
The scientist.
no, the nurse character was
Okay.
gloriously parodied with or without her knowledge by her name escapes me now, but in Zoolander,
Oh yeah,
what's her name?
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah. Yes, when they go to the spa day
Yeah.
and she plays the crazy she's like the crazy sexy henchman nurse.
Right.
So anyway,
So I would love to say that these guys were watching Jurassic Park and they're like, all right, boys, we got to get some of that Jurassic Park money. Dinosaurs are back. Let's do it.
dude, okay, think about Jurassic Park and think about how great the effects in Jurassic Park are. Those dinosaurs are like realistic, right?
Right.
Still holds up.
Still holds
Yeah.
up. Even the CGI stuff,
Yep.
it's a little bit nah, but it's not.
holds up.
It helped for 93,
It's pretty incredible.
especially compared to the shit that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
This
it's
is
great.
like
They have
three
access to this
years
kind of-
later.
They had access to this technology about.
So I would love to say that they were looking at Jurassic Park and said, let's do that. But the idea for the film happened because somebody had access to a full-size T-Rex animatronic.
And
And-
also a pile of cocaine.
A big pile of coke.
Cocaine T-Rex.
And he approached the director and said, he owned movie theaters in South America, and said he had this T-Rex and he was gonna at a park in Texas, and the eyes worked and the arms worked. So he said you can use it to make a movie. So basically, he said, all right, sure, and they started to try to write this film and film this film over the next like 3 weeks, just because they had
Just
access
because they had access to a T-Rex. That's
it.
the only reason.
a robotic T-Rex.
Oh
so
my
they
God.
made a
Doesn't happen
movie.
every day.
and
Yeah.
the
And they
T-Rex.
made it in 3 weeks.
Well, he wrote a lot of it as they were filming it.
It's obvious. So let's go back to the beginning, shall we?
Yes, please.
It's a typical American town in 1990, early 90s. Cheerleaders, football players, a young Paul Walker. Yes. A young Denise Richards who perpetually looked like a 35-year-old her whole life.
Yep.
She is kind of Denise Richards is the skipper, to be topical, to Kathy Ireland's Barbie.
Okay. I can see that.
All right. I'll
I-
buy that. Yeah, I follow.
I do.
Yeah.
But so she is in love with Paul Walker, the football player, but she's not allowed to be because of her ex-boyfriend, question mark?
Psychopath. What
Yeah.
was his name? Johnny Psychopath?
Yeah.
Holy
Billy?
cow.
Billy.
Billy.
Billy's
Psycho-
here.
Billy.
Even her parents were afraid of him. And his like gang of roving white kids.
Yeah, it was
Nerdy
weird.
white kid?
They weren't
Yeah.
nerdy. They were like, those girls were like angry.
Well,
bitches.
Not the
Yeah.
girls, but the guys. That one guy looks like he was the henchman in Fright Night, that nerdy guy.
He
in
was.
Fright Night.
He was.
That's the same dude?
Yeah. It is, right?
No,
It is too. Look it up.
no. His name is Sean Whalen. He was in People Under the Stairs. Was his big break. He was
Fright
also
Nights, okay.
in. I want to say
A bunch of commercials.
No, he's been in a bunch of
He's
shit.
been in a ton of movies and
He's one of
TV
those actors you
shows.
see and you go, oh, there's that guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got
You
like
don't
a
know his
weird
name.
face.
In the
Okay.
90s, he was everywhere in the 90s. You know,
Gotcha.
he was in, I think he was in Very Bad Things, or maybe it was, it was Suicide Kings. He was in Suicide Kings. He played like a craps dealer. He has a ton of tiny roles, but he's in a lot of TV, a lot of movies. And yeah, if you saw him, you'd be like, that guy.
Yeah.
Probably in a Blink 182 video.
I couldn't tell you anything about that. So
Billy the Psycho is the ex-boyfriend.
yeah, rolls
it's-
up.
Well, it starts with the credits going with a dance routine
Yeah.
in the gym, and it's all the sexy cheerleaders or whatever. But there's a chick in there that has like a full leg brace,
Yeah.
and it looks so awkward. And Denise Richards had a really tough time keeping up with everybody.
She sure
it looked
did.
like.
She looked like she could not count and move at the same time.
Oh,
And at one point, I'm like, "Is it them?" And I'm like, "No, those other girls got rhythm." Denise Richards has no idea which way is up. Really,
that's
honestly,
the reason she ain't had a dancing career.
yeah, she's kind of dumb.
Okay.
She is, don't you think?
If
She
you
was on The
married Charlie
Housewives.
Sheen, I consider you dumb.
Had 3 children with Charlie Sheen, all girls. Rough.
Karma's a
Rough, I know. She was a dumb housewife for a minute, so and she just she's stupid. But in this movie,
So Paul Walker strolls into the gym all sexy like with his football pads still on, or at least his pants and his half shirt, and he sits down and starts just goofy looking at Denise Richards. Apparently, he keeps his football uniform on the whole time, which is really weird. Usually,
no, he carries the jersey in his pads, but he wears the pants.
Yeah, he just wears the pants outside.
He only weighs like 120 pounds, so I think maybe he's the kicker for the team, and so he's overcompensating.
Okay, and he's wearing some kind of weird, like early '80s, late '70s cutoff shirt.
Yeah.
That's standard football.
I've seen it. Yep.
You got to
I've
show
seen it.
off the bottom of the six pack.
Especially if you walk into a gym full of cheerleaders.
Okay. So dumb.
They go outside after cheerleading dance practice, and then they're having a good time, and they're kind of like, maybe they are, maybe they aren't in a relationship. And then this Mustang or some kind of muscle car rolls up, and her ex-boyfriend, who's not her boyfriend, rolls up, who thinks he still owns her like a piece of property.
Literally.
He tells her that.
Like
Tells
literally,
her
and
flat
all
out.
of like his like 4 or 5 cronies are like, yeah.
But she's obviously, it's like she's not into you. So this is bordering on real, like, where are the police at? Because this guy needs to be arrested
like-
for sure.
Harassment.
This is a world with restraining orders. I
Yeah.
imagine.
Like
If it
later,
has-
he really terrorizes her parents in like her house.
Yeah, there's
like
a lot of serious
Yeah,
crimes.
Why ain't they be calling the cops on that?
I know.
but he gets away with all of it.
all of it.
Mainly
Because
because
his
He
pretty
fucks with
face.
Billy.
Was that his pretty smooth face? He had the smoothest skin.
He had this. He didn't look like a bully.
No, he
was
looked-
skinnier than Paul Walker and shorter.
So maybe he's like Eddie Haskell.
He looked like some kind of Canadian. I pictured him as a Canadian pop star for some reason. Like he looked like he was faking it, like he was pretending to be bad.
The Canadian version of Menudo.
Yeah, maybe. So, So wait, let's go back a second.
All right.
Paul Walker is in love with Denise Richards, and he hands her this stupid yellow rose, and he's
Like
like,
out of Beauty and the Beast.
"Yeah, I
Almost.
guess." And he's like, "This is for you," and he's like so earnest and Paul Walker-y, but he's like 16.
120 pounds.
he's all like young ears and nose.
And she's on the fence. She doesn't know. I don't know. But she's definitely not with the psychopath.
Well, she liked him, but she's like, we can't.
because she's afraid of the
know
psycho.
why. You know
I
why.
guess.
Well, so instead of him handing her the rose, she won't take it. So he eats the petals, like literally puts the rose in his mouth and like chews on the petals.
Does this make him turn into the T-Rex?
No, wait, we'll get
I
there.
wish.
We'll get there.
That
Okay.
would be awesome.
All right.
But we're establishing relationships here.
Okay.
So she's like, "Oh my God, you're so weird." Ha 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 ha.
And then Billy rolls up with his cronies. "You're mine. Get over here, bitch." And
Like,
Oh.
gets right out of the car and
wait,
just
we
walks.
we haven't
It's
met the stereotypical
weird.
gay friend yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
the 90s
This is offensive.
stereotypical,
Dashiki.
like, yeah, they have to get all of the minority, like, representations into
Yeah.
one character.
All right.
So he's a gay black man wearing a dashiki and,
I
the
blame
shell
I blame the
necklace.
director because he pulled out of his mannequin 2 bag of tricks and went for the
I
Meshack
didn't
Taylor.
even think about
100%. And it was, look.
It was a Meshack Taylor ripoff for real.
100%.
100%.
And it was, it's offensive. I find it kind of offensive to be that stereotypical, but it's almost so stereotypical that it's ridiculously, it is ridiculously funny. So it's not.
Well, look, the
Huge
90s was really about Africa and solidarity and all of this stuff. Like, that's what that was
Yeah,
a
there's a
thing
big
in this movie.
anti-apartheid movement. And
Yeah, and I just feel like it was about educating people about a culture that we might not have known about. That's what I feel like. And now it just becomes this like preachy, we can't talk about it thing, which
Right.
doesn't help. And I feel like we were a lot more open and accepting in the early 90s than the way we've become,
And
which
I
is
think
unfortunate.
It was kind of less kind of insulting or, offensive because it was such a caricature of something that it wasn't real.
Yeah.
So it was
And
just
the-
so
we
there
over
were-
the top.
Couldn't quite
And-
be
and if-
offended yet.
Other
Of course-
characters throughout of different
All the-
stereotypes.
Yeah, the whole
Right.
film had these stereotypes. So
Yeah.
it was almost so ridiculous that you can't be offended.
Yeah, his dad was
that's
Sound drunk.
the sheriff. His dad was a sheriff.
Oh, was
the
he?
dashiki wearing
Oh, okay.
stereotype.
Okay.
But the deputies were was Buck Flower, who is the homeless drunk guy in Back to the Future series, and he was also in They Live.
I have a confession to make. So I've seen this movie before, but I was so embarrassed by it, I had to watch it with the sound turned off.
This time or the first time?
The only time I've seen it.
Oh.
So it's kind of embarrassing, and I have an issue. I can either watch it through my hands and listen to it, or I can watch it and turn the sound.
Are you going to turn off our customer right
You
now?
can't do both?
Oh,
We're going to sell you this movie.
We're selling you
all
this
right.
film.
I know. I'm
You okay?
I
Are you
feel
okay,
like-
Charleen?
convinced just yet.
It's a must see. It's a must see.
Well,
it's just it's
all
amazing.
Wait, we're getting to it. We'll
we
get
got
to
Mac
it.
and me
bums
and
going.
Did
at
you
it
see
and
Mac and me?
oh yeah,
Okay. Well, so all right.
I got you.
Okay, so this guy
I'll follow.
obviously likes puppets.
That's why I asked if there was
yeah.
a puppet in there.
Oh yeah.
Well, so cut to
Oh, man.
after we have this relationship established, right, with these kids.
Yep.
We cut to a warehouse.
No.
No,
We
we
gotta
don't.
go back.
We don't get there yet.
So we
Okay, they had the lady to dance and the
Yeah.
yellow rose, and he eats the yellow rose because the
Oh, and then
dude
Billy
said,
comes. I
own
thought we got
I
past
own
Billy
you.
coming. Yeah,
I
own
Oh,
you.
wait,
You
and
can't like her
Oh,
pimp
you
or
guys,
something.
it's gonna take us forever.
I
if
know,
we pick
but-
this apart.
Okay.
There's a ridiculous fight ensues, and when I say ridiculous
Oh my
fight,
God, we did forget about this fight.
yeah, you can't. We can be remiss if
I
we did
love
not.
me some good fight choreography.
Well, you are gonna.
I want to know if you can find the name of the choreographer of this fight. I would like to know it because
Yeah.
they would deserve an
All right,
award.
well, I'm gonna have to do my homework now.
They
I'm definitely
deserve.
gonna have to rent
They
it.
deserve all the Razzies. So no, they did not have a coordinator. I think that they. Paul Walker, obviously, they said he did his own stunts for this. I want to say that they did their own coordination for this because it's brutally bad. It's almost like slow motion, and it's like wrestling. It's a wrestling match. There's like dropping elbows and body slamming.
Body slamming.
It's like they watched way too much WWF.
But
and they're then it resorts to the worst
Billy.
homoerotic scene since Top Gun.
Billy with the smooth face, Billy with the smooth skin, decides to grab Paul Walker's wang,
Yeah.
his wiener,
It's all
Paul
about
Walker's
penises
wiener.
today. It's all about penises.
Apparently,
So
So what does Paul Walker do? He's got to grab the other guy's dick. So there's cross dick
so
grabbing.
this fight has been going on so there's like a ring of like 30 or 40 kids and no teachers have come
and one
then-
of the chick had blood loss.
Oh, it was nuts. Yeah, she was out of control. She wanted to see actual decapitations
yeah,
and
she was
intestines.
she was very excited about the whole thing. And then the grip the grip and the circling did not stop.
It was a
lasted
circle jerk.
So long.
It
So
did.
long, so uncomfortable.
And then instead of
made it a circle jerk.
instead of a teacher showing up, the cops show up.
The two deputies. And I honestly thought for a second the deputies were going to join in on this nut grabbing competition. I was praying that they would because that would have been hilarious.
Because the cops are laughing at him because they're both getting their nuts grabbed.
That's
And then they say, "Why aren't you crying?" to Paul Walker, and he's like, "Cause I'm wearing a cup."
He was not wearing a cup. Because like if you grab a cup, you ain't grabbing nothing, and he would have just beat the hell out of the kid.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
ridiculous.
it's something else.
all right.
So, but that was fun. It's a fun scene. It's a fun scene because watching the extras, watching those 25 to 40 extras, and that girl
Oh,
with the
yeah.
bloodlust.
Oh, yeah.
I love watching extras, and especially in things like this. So that's
Because it sounds to me like they are the ones that make it.
they.
So then we move on, and there's some other things happen, not important. Then we have this hard, awkward cut to this fucking dinosaur in a different place at a different time with lights, backlit,
Artsy
fartsy, and they were like, "Wait, what's happening?" There's all of a sudden a dinosaur's here.
Smoke.
in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a T-Rex, and it looks like a T-Rex from an amusement park.
Right. And then enter beautiful, wonderful character actor Terry Kaiser.
You would recognize him if you saw him.
He is Bernie in Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was the psychiatrist in Friday the 13th 7, A New Blood.
Wow. All I could think of was
In Mannequin too.
the dude.
He
from
was in
Johnny,
Mannequin too.
Johnny Mnemonic. It's like they wanted that guy but couldn't get that guy.
Oh, Udo Kier.
So
yeah.
they got this
funny.
guy.
Terry Kaiser is. I gotta tell you, if you're putting together a movie quickly, he's the guy to get because he can get in there and he'll sell the shit out of
He's
it.
down for anything.
Yeah.
He well, obviously.
And
So-
he's despite his choices, he's a good character actor. I like the guy.
So he has
So his
his.
T-Rex just shows up and just like he's not invited.
So he-
He's not related to anybody.
It's in a totally different
He's-
scene. We're in a warehouse
We're in a
somewhere.
warehouse now.
We're
so
in a
and-
different movie.
So Doctor,
really.
Yeah.
so Terry Kaiser enters Bernie, and he is Doctor
He's wearing a-
Warschenstein or
He's
something.
wearing a white coat and he's got a German accent.
So he comes in and he just chews
So he
every
must
bit
be
of
evil.
scenery that's there. Turn it on, make its arms move, blah blah blah, roll its eyeballs.
Power.
Yeah.
make its mouth move, and it does its lips like the Skeksis in Dark
Oh, yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Show me its teeth before I show mine.
oh my god, so over the top.
Yeah, it's everything bad animatronics are. It's insane.
So the T-Rex has shown up now of Tammy and the
T-Rex.
T-Rex. Yes. So the doctor and his lady henchman and his muscle. There's a big muscle guy, and then also the little guy with the round glasses who was in.
Isaac.
Children of the
Isaac
Corn.
from Children of the Corn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez Louise.
Well, they pulling all the stars in this one.
Who do we know? We got to start
Sure
shooting
are.
next week.
Who's available?
Right.
So
We got Isaac from Children of the Corn.
Is
Malachi-
Malachi busy?
yeah, we couldn't get Malachi, man.
Damn it. He was doing the Burbs.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase wasn't Chevy in that? No, it was what's his name?
Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Wanks.
Oh.
So
T-Rex shows up in a warehouse.
and you vaguely get the idea that they want to turn the thing into a thinking creature by getting
Into a Terminator.
They've kind of one-upped the latest Jurassic Park series where they wanted to make dinosaurs weapons.
Yeah.
That all goes back to Tanny and the
Wh-
teenage T-Rex.
Do you think they could claim that,
They should have.
right?
That would have been
Because
it.
then they could have gotten in
They
on
could have
some
got
of
their
that
intellectual
copyright.
property.
Yeah.
Their intellectual property was taken.
Ah, dang it.
But I like the turn it takes because it takes on a Frankenstein style turn. They're like,
Okay.
okay, they're trying to Frankenstein this thing.
So they're training it.
It's a robot,
Okay.
but they want human brains.
so it becomes a thinking
power it.
creature,
To
right? They
power
want
it.
it to be powered by. So it's
So-
a robot with a human brain is what they want.
Okay,
Right.
I see.
So
Yep, Frankenstein.
Right.
Now, does it fall in love? Is that where we're going with this?
We are you. So what,
Charlene,
whoa,
you
whoa.
just wait. There's
Whoa,
a lot
whoa,
of
whoa.
things that have to happen
Yeah.
before we.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
But we are definitely. The car has started. We're pointing down the hill, and it's in drive. So we're heading right there.
So, cut to. We are at now childhood bedroom of Denise Richards. She's crying and feeling really bad for Paul Walker.
She's good at crying.
Yeah, I was wondering what she was thinking about when she was sobbing because it was really good.
And during the fight, she's like, no! And she was good at that.
Yeah.
It was
She's been
unnerving.
through
Oh,
that
sorry.
before.
And
Johnny,
yeah,
can you do that again for me? Because that face was really funny.
It was good.
so she ran away during the fight, like literally, and didn't watch them do the
Not
dick
correct.
grab.
That was what turned her away.
So she called him to apologize and to invite him over for whatever.
And he literally turns right around. Really? Oh, in his best Paul Walker, Mickey Mouse kind of way.
Yeah,
And he has a
yeah.
bruised up face. So he goes over.
And his breath smells like roses.
Yeah. He grabs his jacket and a bunch of shit and a condom, of course, because I might get laid. So, I mean, he's very responsible and everybody should. So, yeah, completely. I just think it's funny that whatever.
That was a 90s thing. for
Yeah,
sure.
like smoking
Yeah.
in movies. So, he goes over to her house and she tells him to climb up the trellis. Her bedroom's by the front over the garage.
Well,
Very
be a good
80s,
trellis climb.
So he goes up and no one's going to he falls into the Papazon chair and shit.
But that psycho chick from the fight
So
saw
they
him
That's
during-
right.
during their
Bloodlust girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bloodlust Girl and her friend are driving by in their
In 90s
convertible
Jeep.
Jeep.
Love those.
And they look and see Paul Walker running up to the house. And they're like, oh my God, look, let's call Billy. He'll be furious.
Yeah, so they
Call
basically
his pager.
Page him 911.
They start making out upstairs. Oh, this was so 90s too. Her dad calls her from downstairs, but from like the parents have their own phone line, and obviously she had her own phone line in the house. So so her phone rings in the bedroom, and she's like, "Oh no, Dad, something just fell over. I'm studying. It's fine." Because you had seen her parents downstairs in a cutaway earlier. So all of a sudden, screeching tires, Billy on the front lawn with all his cronies and like 3 cars.
And the parents are like, "Oh my God, who is that? Is that Billy?
Oh, call the police!
You should call the police." "No, I won't call the police. I'll take care of this." The dad opens up the door, and Billy barges in right past the dad, doesn't even look at him, and all the friends just pour into the house and go right upstairs.
Where's Tanny?
That's
Yeah.
like breaking and entering.
It's breaking and entering. It's violent. It's a home invasion.
Home
It is
invasion.
now
There
a
it
home
is.
invasion.
Assault? Did he touch the guy? Because then it's
Yes!
assault.
He kind of barged through.
Yeah, and he goes upstairs and kicks in her door. Like literally
Now it's
kicks
vandalism.
in her. Yeah.
He's like, I own you.
You're mine.
This
so
poor
rid-
Billy man.
Yeah. So Paul Walker escapes out the rose trellis, and then he screams out the window, and he comes down to get him. And then apparently Paul Walker was down there having coffee because he didn't make any.
He was hanging out in the driveway waiting to
just hanging
confront
out.
him.
He thought he got away.
And then Billy comes busting out the front door, and Paul Walker's like 10 feet away from him, and they start chasing him. So Paul's on foot, and they have the car, and they end up chasing him and running him down, and they put him in the trunk, and then they drive him, and now Billy's got an idea. I got an idea. I'm going to handle this permanently. So they drive out really, really far.
So they take him to basically Lion Country Safari.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, and dump him out in Lion Country Safari for
in
the animals.
where the lions and the cats are.
Yeah, with
And
like
leave them there.
Yeah.
It gets dark real
Wow.
quick.
yeah. So
How
This
is
is
Billy not in
not tied to
prison?
Tarantino or
He's a-
nothing.
how is
He is
Billy
not-
not in prison?
Right?
He absolutely belongs in prison.
The sheriff ain't doing his job.
He's not.
And all his sociopath friends, right? It's like Manson in the fucking gang.
Right,
Jesus.
there's not one guy that's like, Billy, I think you're a little bit nuts.
No, the girls are like, yeah.
Oh, fuck me while he rips his head off, Billy. Oh my God.
So
I mean, you know.
They drop him off with the big cats.
Right, and
and
then
so
they leave.
he gets mauled
He gets mauled by a lion.
into a coma, ICU, probably not going to live. Now he's in the hospital.
There's some animal endangerment, so if that triggers you, there's a trigger warning.
I definitely did not watch that part. I had to
Yeah.
like keep my eyes closed during that because don't even talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, the zookeeper sees it, and he had a shotgun, and
Yeah, so he
took
shoots
care of that
at.
cat.
Did he shoot the cat? He shot at the cat.
I didn't see that.
Okay, so this the game warden is what it was, which is, but
Because his truck said
game
so.
warden. Yeah, that's how we know. He shows up. He fires off a couple shots. They get him. He's in a coma in the hospital. Denise Richards comes to the hospital, and apparently Paul Walker's got a drunk uncle in the bed waiting for him to wake up. Yeah, it was his
Yeah, it's
uncle.
his
I
caretaker.
got a
It's his,
few
like-
of those.
And then now you understand he's got like this hard, dark past or something, and blah blah blah.
Denise Richards is in there crying with what's the sheriff's kid's name?
Byron.
Byron. Okay,
Byron.
so she's in there with her bestie Byron, and he's always dressed flamboyantly. It gets old, but you just get used to it. I guess.
And he does an admirable job, I gotta say.
He
You
does.
know,
He's very good.
considering.
He's fun.
This came out around the same time as Clueless. I think maybe they.
Okay.
one up
close
Clueless.
within a
That
year.
sounds
Yeah, but
like
my
a
so-called
competition.
life had like similar, but it was a Latin character. instead
Well, I
of-
would say you're closer to Chasing Amy with
Okay.
that character. Maybe. That was
Yeah,
like
I see that.
96,
That
95,
was
yeah.
a little later. Yeah.
So
It all goes back to Tanny.
it does.
Teenage T-Rex.
In the teenage T-Rex. So he's in the hospital.
Now enter Dr. Whack-A-Mole and his nurse.
Yeah.
And they come in and they have somebody at-
Frankenfurter.
they have somebody at the hospital that has
And she's constantly eating. I'm sorry, I had to bring this up. She's always putting food in her mouth or a
'Cause
piece of
that's sexy,
gum.
apparently.
That's where Brad Pitt got it from.
That's what
Yeah.
I was gonna say. And Han.
comes
Han.
back.
It all
In
comes back.
Tanny.
all
All
the-
right, I see what you're doing.
All the Fast and the Furious movies, Han eats all the time too.
Because before 1994, Brad Pitt never ate anything on camera. Yeah,
He
Thelma
just
and
smoked
Louise,
weed.
he
He
just
just smoked weed.
Yeah, smoked weed and had hair dryers in his shorts. And then he watched Tanny and the T-Rex.
It's like, that's what I'm missing.
I gotta eat.
That bitch is sexy.
I was this
Yeah.
close to being a star.
What
and now
prevented
I
me?
got it.
I need to eat shrimp cocktail at the base of a staircase.
So moving on.
So the doctor shows up in his
they
hospital
and they-
coma.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
And they have
Yep.
somebody at the hospital that lets them know when a ripe patient comes in, they can take their brain. So now this guy's in a coma. Doctor comes in, and they basically murder this kid in front of his girlfriend.
Well, and they talk to them about, is he a nice person? What's he like? Blah, blah, blah. And make sure he's like a really good kid. And so then they fake kill him. They like unplug his machine and
Right.
plug it into something else. And it like.
and they give him a sedative.
And the hot nurse is giving him out the mouth.
Yeah. And then they're like, he's dead. Sorry, we're leaving. And they wheel him out down the hallway.
Well, where is this kid's parents?
The drunk uncle's drunk in the chair.
Oh,
That's it.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yep.
So they take him away because now he's dead. And they put him.
Yeah, quote unquote
In a
dead.
trunk
Oh,
again?
wait. He keeps waking up. So he's been in a coma for
Oh, yeah.
15 days or some
And
shit.
now he's waking up.
But
because-
now he wakes up when they start kidnapping him. So they give him another sedative, but that doesn't knock him out. So the Brunhilde character has to punch him in the face to knock him out? Okay.
And then she punches him in the face again when they get him to the T-Rex warehouse, and then
The
Isaac
little
from
scientist.
Isaac's like, "You're gonna give him brain damage. Stop hitting him."
Yeah, where they're going to take his brain out and put it into the T-Rex.
Now I will say, this is where, if it hadn't already taken a dark turn, this is where it goes darker
It gets dark.
because this movie's bloody. It is. It has.
K-Rose syrup
It
bloody.
has some effects in it. Some of it is good, and some of it is so ridiculous. It's
K-Rose
hilarious. So, and by the way, there's an Italian version. This movie was originally.
What? This
Yes.
is a
So wait, the original cut of this film was so bloody that they wouldn't allow it out, and it gave them a higher rating. So in order to get it down, they had to cut out most of the blood. But the Italian version has the full.
it all in?
Kept it all in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mamma mia!
Hey, that's a spicy meatball.
How did that movie do over there?
I don't know. Maybe
They
good.
love fake blood.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of spaghetti westerns?
Seen an Italian movie?
It's all blood.
Fake blood.
All blood. So they take jigsaw. They take a saw.
They take a
They
bone
used the
saw.
wrong tool for that job.
Completely.
Yeah, because
And
you're
they
supposed to
should
use
have
the
used a rotary thing.
Yeah, so first they take a scalpel, cut his head, and then he wakes up again. They knocks him out, and they take a jigsaw and saw open
This poor
top
kid.
of his head.
Yeah.
And then they take the
They
brain
show
out.
all of it.
They show
too.
all of it. They take the brain out. I
Oh.
mean, it's a great effect because Paul Walker kind of looks like a mannequin anyway. And then you see the mannequin in the chair, and you're like, that looks like Paul Walker. That's him.
Is that where Hannibal got that idea from?
It's worse than Hannibal.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, there's a
wow.
lot of viscera, and it's.
Oh yeah,
Gelatin.
So anyway, the brain gets put into the T-Rex.
Well, before that, they start poking the brain to
Oh
like,
yeah, to me,
prove a point, I guess.
it's ridiculous.
Pokes it so his leg shoots up, and they poke it in another spot, and he gets a boner and stuff.
Oh yeah, I
And
must
then
have been
his-
in the kitchen.
Then his boner's moving around.
That's so dumb. I'm really glad I missed that.
Yeah. It's dumb.
So they put his brain into the T-Rex. Then they go out to have sex.
They leave him there, and then apparently.
But they leave him there with
To
the
celebrate.
with the
Yeah.
muscle guy and the
And-
nerdy scientist kid from Children of the Corn.
And the Children of the Corn and the muscle-bound other helper, they want like pizza, so they order pizza. Pizza guy comes.
Italian.
Italian. The pizza
See all
guy
that
comes.
blood, you're like,
Oh,
oh, let's
and
get Italian.
I think the pizza guy was somebody too. Yeah, the
Hey,
pizza.
Pedro.
From Napoleon Dynamite is the
Oh,
pizza
wow.
guy.
Oh wow.
He looked familiar.
He
Yeah.
really did get everybody good.
They did. They weren't fucking around, man.
Wow.
So they get Pedro, delivers a pizza, and the T-Rex now comes to life and freaks Pedro out. He drops the pizza and runs out. And then now the.
But wait,
there's more.
he taps Pedro on the shoulder with his tiny T-Rex arms. He goes bloop, bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
But he's standing way back there, so it looks like his arms might be real long, but you can't see him because they just come up like this. But the perspective makes it.
It's fucking awesome.
It's like obviously someone's arm.
It's a puppeteer
Yeah.
with an arm sock.
It's like one part
basically.
cartoon.
Yeah, it is. It's like someone's forearm.
Yeah.
And the arm was facing the wrong way anatomically.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody was underneath the animatronic model.
Yeah. And there's a lot of goofs. You can see parts of the crane equipment. You see boom mics. You see guys operating the dinosaur if you really look carefully.
Yeah.
So I think it was at the Lion Country Safari Park. There's a panning shot. Oh, that comes later, actually.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
put a pin
Oh,
in
we'll
that.
save that.
Put
Yeah,
a pin in that.
We'll save that.
Heard.
As the T-Rex is about to break out of this warehouse, because now he can free himself, because
He's smart.
He can move.
Well,
now?
after
Yeah.
he sees the pizza, he turns around and he sees his own body. So now Paul Dinosaur goes over to his body and takes his little T-Rex arms and feels his little mouth and feels his own little head. And then he feels his own head and he's like, I'm a dinosaur. And it's something, man. And then now he's angry.
Well, I can imagine the shock of that.
Yeah.
You know, waking up and
You turned me into a robot dinosaur. Now he's angry, and now
I used my tiny T-Rex fingers to feel my old mouth, and now I realize I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah. So after he fingers his mouth, it's really weird. Isaac comes back from the cornfields, and now he's angry, and man, he fucks Isaac up real fast. And so Isaac's head goes flying off.
He rips it off. You see
What?
all the
Yeah,
veins.
blood. It's like
Oh.
a samurai movie.
Doesn't he take him? Doesn't he eviscerate him first? Isn't he the first one he eviscerates?
No, that's coming up.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, and then
but
the-
wait, when he moves across the warehouse, it's obviously he's on
dolly?
Yeah, he's like gliding,
the
right?
top of the T-Rex is on wheels, but the bottom is like obviously some dude in dinosaur
the same
pants.
guy with the dinosaur hands.
Yeah, it's like the bottom half of a Godzilla costume.
Spielberg would have handled that differently.
I mean, it's like these little
Sounds
foamy.
fascinating.
It's like these little foamy things I can probably order online.
And it has a dew claw, but it's not. It just waggles. It's obviously just foam. It's like a
awesome.
foam rubber boot.
It's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
So
That's really fun.
So Meathead comes in and he's looking around for his buddy, and then the T-Rex comes at him, but instead of like chewing him up, he just walks on him and he steps on his torso, and it's obviously like an inflatable torso or something. It's just so ridiculous, and steps through him and then squashes his face and crushes him. And outside, there's
All this blood is squishing out.
as he does this, outside in the alley, there's some old lady on a payphone for
Who's
some
called
reason.
her husband about the races, because she's like, go ahead and put 7 on number 4. or
It's like
some
10
shit.
o'clock at night. The races are closed, man.
She's
It's
telling
a dark alley.
nothing.
this is wow.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm just
So
I just saw a
flabbergasted.
dinosaur kill somebody. Ah! And she runs away. I'm like,
The
and then,
T-Rex comes out of the metal door. He breaks out of the metal door, but it's wood. It's just wood painted silver.
so she runs away from the payphone. So what happens? Well,
T-Rex goes to answer the call.
He's got to make a phone call. So Paul Walker, the T-Rex, with his little T-Rex arms, goes up, and you see his T-Rex arms hang up the thing, and then pick up and dial his girlfriend.
Oh.
So Denise Richards answer, but the only thing he can say is, "Oh no!" So she freaks out, and she hangs up, and he doesn't understand.
She probably thinks it's Billy.
Probably. Oh, this movie.
Oh my
This is
god!
good.
It keeps going. It just keeps going. We've got to get to the
Oh,
point.
We have to.
So
So just picture a lot more of this
yeah,
for another 45 minutes.
he terrorizes the town.
He goes to a party. He finds a teenage party.
Oh yeah, and there's a girl who's really getting into the dance moves too. There's a 90s dance party. Yeah, there are some 90s dance moves. I was a little envious. of that girl.
Give
Just
a little cabbage
like,
patch.
oh no,
The chick in the
like
jeans, right?
no, the girl in pink.
Yeah, pink.
Okay.
The girl in pink. She might have had a
Oh, yeah.
scrunchy half up hairdo,
Yeah.
and she was like, she had a flannel around her
Going
waist.
for it.
Oh yeah,
When they
going
shot
for
it.
it.
It was mostly her back, though.
Yeah, but
And
she
it's
would-
like, turn around, lady.
I know.
Let's see these moves.
They panned around on her a couple times though. Yeah. So they go to a backyard party, and Billy's there.
Shoes up again.
Everybody's there. Denise, the whole school's there. Billy's there. His cronies are there. Denise Richards is there. So Billy's there, and obviously the bloodlust chick really has it for Billy. Denise Richards wants nothing to do with him, so she walks away.
And she's crying at the party.
She's crying at the
And
party.
it looks convincing.
And Byron's there, and he's trying to tell her, "Don't cry, girl."
And meanwhile, there's a skulking T-Rex over the bushes looking over everything. And then the people under the stairs kid comes out, and he's got to pee, and Billy's taking Bloodlust chick to the car because he's going to have sex with her. And he's just like, "You can't come with me right now, dude," because he wants to be with Billy all the time. He goes to pee in the bushes, and he thinks the dinosaur is a statue. And he pees on the dinosaur's leg, and then the dinosaur picks up his leg and fucking disembowels the kid.
Yeah. Wow. I know.
Yeah.
This is
With his rubber foot.
And then he goes, and Billy's fucking the Bloodlust chick in the back of the car. And
her
so,
legs are up, man.
Yeah,
They're
and she-
pointing north.
yeah. And so they.
And her boots.
So
the camera pans in this scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and
All the
this
lighting
where your
equipment.
pin
across
was?
the car.
This
Yep,
is where
pull
your
this
pin
pin
was.
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about. So
It dollies. It's
very
on a
close.
track.
It's on track. It dollies, and you can see the whole film crew,
The whole rig.
and the camera,
And
and
the light
everything.
rig.
In the reflection
In
of
the
the car.
reflection of the car.
Yep.
It's
With
wonderful.
her legs up,
Yeah.
bouncing around.
Yep.
It was hilarious.
They definitely had 3 weeks to do this.
gotta see this movie.
Yeah.
So then he rips off Billy's head, and
Well, she
Hey,
Did Billy
sees-
finally get what's coming to him?
He
Yeah.
will
She
soon.
sees the dinosaur because she's facing up.
yeah,
Billy's facing down, going to town,
yeah,
and she sees the dinosaur. So she starts screaming, and of course, Billy, being a guy, thinks, "Yeah, I'm knocking
doing
it
it."
out of the park."
yeah.
And then so the dinosaur picks up her boot, extended leg, and hoists her up. And again, you see like something behind the dinosaur head that's holding her leg up. which,
Yeah.
it was a good effect, but
And
Could've
it
been
looked
that.
like such a dangerous stunt.
yeah.
There was a lot of danger in this movie.
Well, so Billy goes running into the party to tell them there's a dinosaur out there, and he stands in front of the group of kids in this like tent where like the DJ is or something, and you see the string, you see his
Behind his head.
yeah, you see his
cable.
yeah, his cable, and then all of a sudden the
dinosaur
dinosaur
head.
yeah comes in and he gets yanked
Yanked
up,
up.
and then splat goes his head, right?
Yeah. And his head comes down and his body comes down without the head, and everyone freaks out. And this is when everyone just jets from the party.
But then the dinosaur picks up Byron, who fell, and he helps him up, and he dusts
Little
off
T-Rex
his
arm
he
dusts him off the shoulder and pats him on the shoulder. "I love you, man." And then he's like, "Thank you." And then he runs away. And then there's two other assholes that like hide underneath a Camaro. And then obviously the T-Rex is going to jump on top of the sports car, crush it and the kids, which he does. And blood goes everywhere.
So eventually he goes and kidnaps.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Sorry about that.
How
Hey,
are you?
Good, Mildred. How are you?
Were you talking about movies?
We are. That's what we love to do in here.
Oh, that's so refreshing. You know, my grandsons, they just talk about CGI boobs. I don't even know what those are. I imagine they're like some kind of Chechnyan boobs, Crimea. I can't figure out what the C stands for.
Croatia?
Maybe Croatia. Yo, you're smart. You're a smart cookie.
Thanks. Well, you know where to find the best movies in the place, Mildred.
I sure do, doll. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go in the back and just have a look around.
All right. We'll see you in a minute.
All right.
Anywho.
So some crushed douchebags. And then
Oh,
the
he goes and
dinosaur-
kidnaps her. He goes and kidnaps her
that's right.
and convinces her that it's Paul Walker because he plays.
Well, he,
Charades
Does
with
he
her?
eat another rose?
yes.
think
Yes.
I found
Oh,
a plot hole.
real?
Because how's he kidnapped?
Just one plot hole? I don't know. I thought he threw her over his T-Rex
Does he,
shoulder.
Mouth her like a
That's
dog
what I
with a
thought.
duck.
That's the way I imagined it. Yes.
Soft mouth it.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I imagined it.
So he takes her to some kind of secluded barn.
Yeah. And
And
convinces her.
And she wakes up and she's freaking out. Oh my God, a dinosaur. And then she's abnormally calm because the dinosaur is staring in your face. And he basically does charades. And she's like, "Oh, you want to play charades?" And she's like, she gets
Oh,
in it.
sounds like? Did sounds like?
He keeps tapping his ear with his
Because dinosaurs have
paw.
ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Wow.
his tiny T-Rex arm can reach his head.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
It's
Yeah,
great.
It really
so
is.
she figures it out that his Paul
He-
Walker's brain is in the dinosaur and it's actually
Well, doesn't he eat the rose?
Mm-hmm.
he does to prove.
Oh, he does.
And
See,
he, and he points to a bracelet that he gave her, so she figures it out. Yeah, and he eats the rose. Yeah.
So she tells Byron's like, I believe it because he picked me up off the ground and dusted me off. So then Cop daddy shows up to try to kill him, the dinosaur. Oh, and there's all this, like, she's riding the dinosaur stuff, and it looks like a toy.
It's horrible.
Shadow. It's crazy.
I don't know what they used.
Like a piggyback on the T-Rex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so they
They
don't.
use Jurassic Park toys.
Yeah.
Probably.
They don't have a lot of wide shots because how do you do a wide shot of a dinosaur walk? That they figure it out in some kind of a stop motion plus something else.
Puppets.
Yeah, it is something to behold.
Looks almost like a mat or something too, though. It's in front of like a
It's-
green screen.
Whatever
thing.
it is hilarious. It is so great.
So then, what happens?
I don't know. A lot of weird
A lot of shit happens, and then we get to the
They corner them in
scientists.
and
They kill the scientists.
So they try to go find Paul Walker a new body in the morgue, and there's a bunch of buffoonery in the morgue of holding up bodies. So Paul Walker, the dinosaur's in the truck, and he's looking into the morgue, and he's choosing his body, and he's finding the right one. So then the scientists get,
It's very mannequin.
very mannequin.
Yeah.
And he's like, meh.
Yeah.
You know, with his
Yeah.
little
Yeah, and he
dinosaur
says, like,
arm,
with
he's
his
like,
one little dinosaur finger, blurg, blurg, like, no. Get the fuck out. We ain't got time for this shit. What are you doing?
There's a lot of madness that ensues. So there's a chase because the police
Because
come.
Weekend at Bernie's meets mannequin.
Right. I think it's funny when the police chase him and he drives away in the truck. He flips off the police with his T-Rex middle finger. It's so funny.
We skipped the part outside the warehouse. There was a flattened body.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the sexy nurse is like checking it out.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
peeling it off the
Yeah.
pavement,
She's
like,
rolling it up.
licking her fingers.
Yeah, eating stuff.
Oh.
Weird.
Yeah.
Whenever
weird.
they could do something dumb, they did something dumb. If there was an opportunity, they did not miss.
So whatever happens, they all shoot it. They all have a standoff at the barn, and all the cops, and they all shoot the dinosaur. And then the next thing you know,
Well, the scientists show up because they escape. And
Oh,
they show back up.
Yeah,
Well,
at
that's
the
a
barn.
good thing,
It's
because
like
then how else is
So
Paul
he-
going to get his brain back?
So he's going to tranquilize the dinosaur in the barn because they have him cornered in the barn. But then the guy's like, well, how's the tranquilizer going to work on a robot?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, never mind. It's just something special. And he goes in, and Terry Kaiser gets completely disemboweled. What happened to the chick?
She runs out frantically. I think she escapes because she runs out and for no reason her skirt's up above
She
her
it's
head.
just to
Pullers,
pull it
yeah.
down.
Pull it
Yeah.
down.
It was weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. So then they shoot and kill the dinosaur, and I guess she cries again, which is a highlight. It's good.
And she's like, my boyfriend's brains in that dinosaur.
Yeah. So she cries again, and then cut to, it's sad. Everyone's crying. The deputies that just murdered this thing, they're crying because it's like they're like from Smokey and the Bandit. Ridiculous.
Wait, we missed the whole part where she goes and tries to dig up. She goes to try to get Paul Walker's body out of
Yeah,
the
that's a
grave.
whole thing.
Like,
Yeah,
girl,
at the
that
funeral,
didn't work that
and then
way.
there's worms all over
Yeah,
it.
it's dark.
Yeah,
It's
dark.
bad.
They
So,
already did bury him that quick.
Yeah.
so they.
It's full of formaldehyde. Like, it
Well, if
just
the
doesn't
worms
work.
got him so quick, maybe there's some cultures that don't formaldehyde you.
There was
so-
a bunch of Three Stooges antics at the cemetery, and then that's when they get away the first time. And
But so now, cut to later, and she's coming home from school, and she's all happy, and her parents are like, "Hi, honey."
it's a very Beetlejuice type of ending.
and they're like, "I'm worried about her. She shouldn't be this happy." And they're like, "Well, we'll just see what happens." So she gets upstairs and starts talking to a camera on the wall. "Hi, honey."
A VHS camcorder.
I
'cause-
miss 90s VHS.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he's talking back to her through
AI
speaker,
synthesizer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. It doesn't matter.
It's very.
Eventually.
like
Well,
Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah.
There's a old sci-fi movie called The Brain That Couldn't Die or
Yeah.
Wouldn't Die.
And A Man with Two Brains.
Yeah.
The Man with Two Brains.
I love the
And-
man with two brains.
So there's a brain in a pan with tubes running
Yeah.
through it and liquid.
Yeah, and then he's just able to talk through that. So they pan down, and his brain is hooked up to a bunch of wires going to the camcorder. So his brain's alive, and they're looking for a body.
She pours him some whiskey.
Yeah.
She's like, "Honey, I'll get your favorite," and she pours
He's
him.
in high school, for God's sake. He doesn't have a favorite whiskey.
And she pours him a glass of whiskey and dumps it on the brain that's in
And
like
he's
the
like,
martini
"Oh,
glass.
Yeah. Pull me another one. She's like, no.
She goes,
just
I'll
one.
be right back. And she comes back in some sexed
Are
out
you ready
white
for-
outfit.
Yeah, are you ready for
November
sex?
rain.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like it spends way too long.
It's a sequence that goes, and this
This
is
is why
like,
the movie was made.
yeah, this is why the producers are just like, no, just let her do this.
Even though she has no rhythm, she's got a sexy body. Let her cry a little. It'll be fine.
so
she's
she does
sexier
a
when she
striptease
cries.
for Paul Walker's brain in the room, and then I don't know what happens after that.
It's
I
the
guess
end.
She
That's
like
it.
takes a little bit off and a little bit off, and he's like, "Yeah, take it all off, take it all off."
And then they live happily ever after. I guess
So
they
awkward.
they find
Right, but
it.
then that's the end, right?
That's it. Yeah.
So
But
he never
as-
finds another body?
You would assume eventually.
In the sequel that never got made, I think he gets
Okay.
a body. But as
He gets
as
Brad Pitt's body.
she's doing the striptease, like the pan starts bubbling a little bit, like it's excited, and then at the end it kind of explodes.
Sparks. Yeah.
God.
He climaxed.
This sounds
He
fascinating.
had himself an Oppenheimer.
So
I'm gonna
I
have
feel like this will help you forget all about any musicals.
You are correct.
I don't think there's a musical number,
There's music,
But
but
there's-
it's like off-brand.
and there's
music.
bad dancing. I mean, there's dancing,
Perfect.
but it's bad.
That
Yeah.
sounds fantastic.
It's good.
And lots of blood.
Oh, hey, everybody. I think I found something for today.
What'd you get? Mildred?
Tranny and the tea bags?
Wow, that sounds
I don't understand what that is. Is that Canadian?
yes,
Is it about the railroad industry?
could be. That sounds like a
You
very
know-
good guess.
You never know until you try. So I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens.
I love your attitude, Mildred. I think that's a great idea. You have a great evening with that.
All right, thanks. You guys take care.
Bye. Mildred's a regular customer of ours,
She
Charleen.
sounds quite fascinating too.
Yep, she really is.
Hey, that lady that just left, she's renting weird things. She went to the section that I've only looked at a corner of my eye. I know it's there, and I'm intrigued, but I just haven't been there yet.
Stay away from that section.
I might go next time, but it's far away from the bathroom, so I don't know.
Well, whatever you do, don't make a mess.
I never do, right, Johnny? He knows me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's not a good
Oh,
sign.
boy.
I'm gonna go back to my friend on the corner.
All right, see ya, buddy.
All right.
See if you can fix our bell on the way out. Johnny, what happened?
It works 1 minute, it doesn't work.
Okay,
This-
well, you need
this
to
whole
unscrew the
fucking
thing.
place.
I know this whole fucking place. Exactly.
Coming down around our ears.
It feels like
I
it.
think maybe the heat
maybe-
disabled the wires.
Maybe.
Probably.
It's
Maybe.
so goddamn hot in here.
Maybe. I think that's probably a logical explanation. Charleen, please enjoy Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex. Or Tammy
And the T-Rex.
and the T-Rex.
I look forward to it. You always send me away with good stuff, so thank you very much.
You got it.
Still no bell. Bye, Tam. Bye. I almost called her Tammy. Bye, Charleen.
Oh, yay! Bell!
Let's go.
All right. See ya.
We're not here.
Hello? I'm not answering that.
It's